we were going to talk about your experience actually catching a demon on photograph.
Yeah, it's not like too crazy, too extensive of a story.
Yeah, go ahead and break it down because I remember you telling me about this when we were kids.
Yeah, I can't remember how old I was. I think I was it was when I was living over in Texas, and it was at the newer house, not the one that burnt down, but the one afterwards. Um,
Was it at the one afterwards? I thought it
yeah,
was the one that burnt down though.
nah, 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 nah. The one that
Because
because it was in the sunlight in the kitchen, which was in the
mm,
newer house. It was before we kind of
okay.
built, before my grandpa really built a lot of it onto it.
Mm,
So for me, I think I was like I had to been around 10 or 11.
mm-hmm.
And it was around Christmas time, I believe, and it was dark. I remember that it was dark because I mainly remember the photo, not really too much of the actual circumstance. But my aunt was taking pictures of things. We had those old style disposable cameras, like the yellow ones, the yellow and black ones, where you could even like slam it against your hand and it would flash real quick. So you'd always just get your friends with that, and not it wouldn't take the picture, but it would flash.
Oh, so like so like those
The
Polaroids they'd
Nikons, yeah,
sell in the store pretty
yep.
cheap, and then everybody would like go and get them developed or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, over at Walmart. They even had
Mm.
the little kiosk machine. You go up and do it yourself.
Oh yeah,
So yeah, all the pictures of your butthole. You don't have to worry about the person working there seeing.
yeah.
Be no problem. So it was one of those little cameras, and she dropped it. They took a photo of, or sorry, we were all standing in the kitchen messing around, um, and she was messing with the camera. She dropped it, and it took a picture, and it kind of was facing up towards the sunlight that was in the kitchen.
Hmm.
This roof's about 7, 8 feet tall, which is I think standard or whatever. And then the sunroof goes about another 2 feet up into the ceiling before the actual plastic. And it
Oh,
was
okay. So, like, sorry, no mean to interrupt you, but
all good.
so the skylight.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, okay,
Skylight.
okay, okay.
Yep. So they took a picture of that. Didn't think because you draw the camera, takes a picture, whatever. Took more pictures. I
Hmm.
think a couple weeks later, got the photos and came back. And the photo that took a picture of was of the sunlight, and it was nighttime, but the reflection off the sunlight was that of like a demon face. Like it looked like some fucking deathcore heavy metal album cover, right? Where it's
Yeah.
like the squiggly lightning bolt lines and it went down to the jaw and across the eyes and things like that. And of course, it freaked out my aunt, freaked out my grandma because they're pretty hard about demons and things like that.
Hmm.
Freaked them out. They got worried about it. They wouldn't touch the photo, and they talked to each other about, "Oh, it's evil, it's evil."
So
Go ahead.
they were freaking out because they're like super religious into that
Pretty religious, yeah,
business.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, and just seeing that on top of the house and circumstantial, like, oh, it just happened to take a photo of it perfectly, and it's there, kind of thing. But freaking out, I get it.
Hmm.
Um, and then they kept it away for like they kept it put in a box for a little bit, and they finally took it to church. That was in the middle of town with the pastor there.
Hmm.
Um, took to her in like a white envelope, I think it was pretty standard. But took it to her, like, hey, can you check this photo, see if there's anything kind of goofy with it. Well, as soon as the pastor touched it, she freaked out and was like, hey, no, that's evil, without really looking at the picture or anything like that.
Hmm.
Which, of course, to my grandma and my aunt, that kind of freaked them out. Of course, that reinforced their belief of the picture. At the same time, I think there was some very good description given before they went
Oh,
to the pastor. Go,
uh,
oh, I got this picture of a demon. Can you check it? Kind of emphasize on it.
gotcha.
But then again, I don't know. The pastor's fingers might have started burning right away as she touched it. Who knows?
Hmm.
But said the pastor was like, "You got to burn it. You got to get rid of it." So I think they did. I think they put it in a shoebox and burns it out back. And like you catch on fire throw in the shoebox, and I think they buried it afterwards.
Damn. So they they tried to destroy and redestroy.
Yeah, they
So,
finally got rid of
mm,
it, and then they got after they finally got rid of it, they got a pastor, basically just a blessing of the house. Like a lot of Christians do it. Oops, a lot
mhm,
of Christians do it. They'll bless the house when you first move in, or if something traumatic happens. But the
right.
pastor came by, did that, old song and dance, and then after that, of course, grandma and aunt weren't worried about it anymore because placebo or just mentally they're like, okay, it's been blessed, it's taken care of, no problem.
Right.
But yeah, after that, it was kind of every once in a while it comes back up and talks and stuff like that, but not often.
So it fell down, took a picture of skylight, and then it had what was perceived to be a demon face in it.
Yeah. Oh, it was the old
And
Kodak camera. It was the
oh,
Kodak one.
Kodak,
Yeah.
that's what it
Yeah.
is. It's not
Yeah.
Polaroid, it's Kodak. Yeah.
Nah.
Okay.
Polaroid, I think it was those. Well, at least those old ones were the ones you'd print. If you take a picture, it'd print it out, and you shake it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Um, but it took the picture, they got it developed, freaked them out,
Yep.
and with them being super religious, they decided eventually to take it to the pastor, and then she gets freaked out by it and is like, "Let's get rid of this." Um, and they follow suit, eventually getting rid of it, and then they have the house blessed. For my circumstance, if at the time there had been like physical proof of it, that would have solidified it for me for sure.
Yeah.
Um, but that's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy that it's at least, I know that we can like far fetch ideals, but it's pretty crazy that it was convincing enough to at least scare three people into
Yeah.
believing that it's
Yeah.
true. Um, so as far as that goes, like how do you feel about it? Do you feel like you could be you just said you think demons real kind of
Yep.
thing. Um, do you feel like that was real, or do you feel like you could be at least a house or like maybe a person could be haunted by something like
Oh
that?
yeah. I do believe and I do think an area can be affected in a sense. Yeah, an
Mhm.
area could be affected. Same with the person. I think can. Yeah.
The fact that that was physically there for them is pretty haunting in itself, I guess, is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's pretty crazy to think about stuff like that. How that would, if that was, let's say it was a demon, let's say it was its face and everything else, I could only imagine how, actually terrifying it would be to visit, like, pick up a photo of it and just like stare at it and be like,
What the
this
fuck?
is fucking real. All right, so we went over Sean's story of his encounter with, or his family's encounter with a demon, just like the last one. If you choose to believe that stuff is real, or if it just interests you, there's his take on it, and then how he feels about it. But everybody who's made it this far, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We both hope that you guys have a wonderful night, day, afternoon, whenever you happen to be catching this,
Yeah.
and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Peace. Yeah.